I would love to host your wedding, but I can't. It took us an endless moment to fully process this unexpected answer that came as a complete surprise. It was 2 years ago when my wife and I were planning our wedding. It didn't have to be a large fairy tale event. We just wanted to have a small party in a nice location with about 30 people. Our friend Christian runs a small restaurant on top of a mountain near of our hometown. It seemed like the perfect location. So what did him do to reject us? I would love to host your wedding, but I can't. He sounded pretty sad. Last week, my last kitchen staff quit. We were seriously disappointed. And what happened to us with our wedding party is not an isolated case. It is becoming the new normal. More and more restaurants are struggling to find the right people to work there. And it's not only about restaurants. Think about large community kitchens like hospitals, university and company canteens, and even central kitchens for kindergarten. Labor shortage is real, and it affects all of us. We call it demographic change. It basically means that our societies are aging rapidly. And in some areas, for instance, here in East Germany, the population is shrinking while at the same time the share of elderly people is rapidly increasing. This leads to a situation where we have more and more people who need services and care, and fewer people to work and to create value. This leads, or the result is a shrinking ratio between providers and receivers. So we basically need every available human being to perform high value, meaningful tasks and work. Yet every day, tens of thousands of people spend their shifts doing highly repetitive manual work. Let's have a look into the hospitals. In Germany, about 300,000 people work in the kitchens of community kitchens. They sort and handle cutlery, they load and unload dishwashing lines, and they deliver food. They are doing repetitive, boring manual work in a straining environment. In these kitchens, it is hot, it is moist, and it's pretty loud. But this is not just a work issue. We as society can just not afford wasting so much human potential on repetitive and predictable tasks anymore. We have to come up with a solution. Some might now say, "Oh, well, Markus, don't we have these shiny humanoid robots that look like us and that can basically do all the tasks we want them to do? Don't we have artificial intelligence, AI, that can basically solve all our problems?" This is a great vision. Imagine a future where in these large company or hospital kitchens, humanoid robots will go there and do the everyday manual work day over and day over, or the work we don't want to do. They would sort cutlery, they would stack trays and plates, load and unload dishwashing lines, and deliver food. Manage the entire logistics. And we as humans would just need to oversee and supervise them. We would then have time for the more enjoyable tasks like cooking, being creative, caring about patients in the hospital, eating, or innovating the future. Imagine a future where unnecessary, repetitive, physically exhausting work would just disappear from human work descriptions. I like the idea. It is a great vision. It would instantly improve our work conditions all around us. It would help us to overcome the straining problems of labor shortage. But do I think that humanoid robots will fulfill this dream anytime soon? The short answer is no, they don't. And they are not even close. But our society is obsessed with that belief. We are obsessed with a wrong dream. The dream of the universal machine. A robot that looks like us, that walks like us, that talks like us, and supposedly thinks like us. Humanoid robots are presented as an unavoidable future, is the ultimate answer to labor shortage, as a mechanical solution to society change. But there's an uncomfortable truth. Humanoids are solving an aesthetic problem rather than an economic one. Copying human design with a robot is extremely complicated and extremely expensive. These machines might cost hundreds of thousands of euros. Its development is currently burning billions. However, you don't need a machine fulfilling a shiny dance in front of Chancellor Merz if it should just sort 3,000 forks and knives per hour. Humanoids are designed for spectacle, not for throughput. So ask yourself, what is the return of investment for such a universal machine emptying a dishwasher in a hospital? It doesn't make sense. The belief that robotic automation needs to be designed like living creatures is not an engineering necessity. And there's another aspect to it besides the costs. Thousands of components, ultra precise actuators, sensors, massive computing power, and every additional degree of freedom is increasing the risk of failure. And in fact, there are many unsolved problems. There's no real solution for a close human-machine interaction yet. The robots are getting so complex and complicated that maintaining them is going to be a real issue. And there's no systematic approach to teach them at all. So from today's perspective, the one-size-fits-all robotic solution is just so premature that waiting for it is a strategic mistake. Meanwhile, the existing problems will intensify. First, the salaries in essential services will skyrocket. putting hospitals and schools under immense cost pressure. Secondly, when some of you or your parents might retire, there just won't be anyone available to do the jobs anymore. Solely in Germany, we will need 400,000 people every year entering the German labor market just to keep our industry and service going. To illustrate those numbers, imagine this. It is a normal Friday afternoon. You visit your 2028. You visit your grandma in hospital. She had a surgery. The doctor was excellent. The nurses are caring professionally and overwhelmingly. And then the lunch arrives. Expect it doesn't. There are not enough stuff in the kitchen. There was no one available in the morning to empty the dishwasher. There was no one around to sort and stack the plates, and there was nobody left to deliver the food cart. So on your way to the hospital, you stop to pick up a takeaway pizza for her. You don't want that, do you? So what might be the alternative? The alternative is not less robotics. It's actually more, but it's a different kind of robotics. It's specialized, smaller, and maybe smarter designed robotics. It's application-oriented modular robotic systems that have one single task to do. Not a universal machine, not a industrial robotic arm. It does not even have to look like a robot at all. We are talking about modular, small robotic systems that have one thing to do, as your robotic vacuum cleaners at home. But for each and every manual task in industry and service all around us. And that's what we have found a company for. My vision is that in a few years, there will be lean, affordable robotic automation systems that are built up from standard technical parts, and sheet metal will be all around us and take over all the unwanted manual work. Let's go back in the hospital. Our first products are cutlery sorting robots. They will sort the cutlery and put it away. Afterward, we will automate the entire dish handling. We will do the tray handling. We will put sauerkraut and sausage on plates, and we might even deliver the food to the patients. Later on, our robots might even work on farms or on construction sites. So how do we do that? It's not about reinventing physics or so. It is not about spending millions on new technologies. It is about using existing technologies. It is about an intelligent product design process. It is about brilliant engineering rather than deep tech wizardry. We will apply state-of-the-art but available cameras to do object recognition. We are using existing AI algorithms to identify forks and knives and do the motion planning of our robots. We will add tactile sensation to make our robots feel and even grip brittle objects. And we will use Wi-Fi and 5G to make them talk to each other. And don't expect anything beautiful. Expect something like this. And they do not talk. They do not walk. They do not gaze or smile, and they do not simulate emotions. They just do execute, 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 as humans are currently doing in these jobs. This is industrial pragmatism powered by AI. I call it purpose-built robotics. And purpose-built robotics are affordable because we do not need to spend millions on new technology. Purpose-built robotics come with a low risk of failure because they are less complex. And purpose-built robots can be deployed because we use existing tech. So in some years, maybe a decade, there will be humanoid robots around and maybe automating some high-value manual tasks. But I want to solve our immediate problems. And for that, I believe in purpose-built robotics that are not a universal machine, that do not try to copy or imitate humanity. I believe in purpose-built robotics that save humanity from unwanted manual labor. So the next revolution of robotics will not stand on stage. It will not give interviews, and it will not shake hands with politicians. It will quietly empty a dishwasher 5 a.m. in the morning in a hospital. And because of that, you know your grandma will get her lunch on time. And this is not less visionary. It is just more responsible.